Well, let's get into some of this little bit of email here you sent me over. Apparently, Jon Bon Jovi's daughter got busted for drugs.
She overdosed.
OD'd.
She didn't die. She OD'd.
She OD'd.
Yeah. Yeah. What's her name? Sarah. Her name is like
Stephanie.
Sarah.
No, you should know this. Stephanie.
But her middle name is Sarah.
No, it's Stephanie Rose Bon Jovi.
Right. Well, all right, then I'm wrong. But whatever her name is, Stephanie Bon Jovi overdosed in her dorm.
Wow.
And I don't know all the details. I sent you the article that you could read that I guess tells the details. I'll be honest, I didn't read it, but it was. I had an idea when I heard this news.
Okay.
And my idea was, with all this going on and the Bon Jovi camp, and since we've heard nothing but good things about Bon Jovi.
Yeah, he's a stellar guy.
And he's an outstanding human being. And, I mean, I remember the great stories that our friend Lon Friend told us about what an upstanding guy he was and how he stands up for his friends and,
right.
Does whatever. So I had to think that with this kind of a personal tragedy going on in Jon Bon Jovi's life with his daughter overdosing, that maybe we could do something to help.
Okay.
And I thought the best way to do that might be to work with some Bon Jovi classics and maybe create some newer, updated lyrics for Bon Jovi that maybe he could sell on his website. Maybe he can record them and he can put them on his website so that he can raise some money to create awareness for heroin abuse.
So basically drug abuse awareness.
Absolutely. His daughter unfortunately seems to be suffering from a drug problem, and clearly he's got to help her. So why would Jon Bon Jovi, the most noble guy in the world, not want to have some lyrics to some of his more popular songs that might create awareness for what his daughter's going through? So
this is kind of like Elton John rewriting "Candle in the Wind" to commemorate the passing of Princess Diana.
Exactly. So I took it upon myself this afternoon to come up with a couple 2 or 3 songs of the bigger Bon Jovi songs, reworked the pieces of them a little bit, and sent them over to you to maybe get a feel on what you think, if maybe if I'm on the right track or not to helping create awareness for this.
So basically, you would rewrite the lyrics for some of the more popular Jon Bon Jovi tunes that would shed light or put a spotlight on the dangers and the tragedy of the abuse of or the use of drugs and what they can do to destroy your life.
Well, exactly. I mean, because as you know, our history, mine and your history, is always to try and be, helpful and
help raise up the community through the power of rock and roll and metal.
We've always taken personal tragedies in our world of rock and roll and tried to show the other side of it, like we did with Midnight from Crimson Glory.
Okay.
We definitely tried to show a better way to to handle it, or how he should have handled it, or how he did handle it. And we've always tried to do that. So I took a stab at maybe for Jon Bon Jovi's daughter writing some new song lyrics for Bon Jovi tunes to help them create awareness.
Okay, we'll look at Nathan in the chat room. Blaze of the Crack Pipe. All right, well, let's check out this first stylings of Chris. This one is just entitled "Bad Heroin."
No, don't do that one first. Do "It's My Life" first.
Okay, "It's My Life."
Yeah, because that's probably the least popular of the 3 that I did there.
Okay.
So let's try that.
All right, let's check this one out.
It's my high and it's mine to savor. I'll save some heroin for later. I just want to shoot it till I fly. It's my high, my vein is like a junkie highway. 'Cause Sarah passed that needle my way. Just like her, my brain is getting fried. It's my high.
So you basically changed the lyrics from "It's My Life" to "It's My High"?
Well, yeah, because I want to show that. I want to show, the dangers of using heroin.
Well, I don't think you're being very compassionate for the situation.
Why? I mean, it's unfortunate, and I'm just trying to give John some places to work from. No?
Well, let me read the story and try to get the gravity of the story here, just because I think you're missing the point. The point is this is a tragic story.
Well, I was trying to raise awareness.
But I think you're missing the point. I think you're I don't know. There's a certain amount of levity you seem to be injecting into this, and this is a serious subject.
I think you are way misguided thinking that I'm trying to be humorous here.
Well, anyway, Jon Bon Jovi's daughter has gotten herself into a bit of trouble.
Oh, it's horrible.
Stephanie Rose Bon Jovi, 19, was reportedly arrested earlier this morning at her upstate New York college after allegedly overdosing on heroin. Allegedly. So they basically arrested her under false pretenses.
Damn it. I mean, how could they mistake that heroin needle sticking out of her arm? Allegedly.
Right. The news comes from TMZ, who learned from the town of Kirkland Police Department that cops arrived at the Hamilton College dorm after hearing a report that Bon Jovi had overdosed. Emergency medical personnel found her unconscious but alive. So allegedly this heroin caused her to go unconscious.
Oops.
Maybe she was just sleeping.
Yeah, maybe she was just tired from all the heroin.
Right. The police department says that there was a small quantity of heroin in Bon Jovi's room.
In her room, because the rest of it was in her arm.
Yeah, allegedly it was in her room.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Along with marijuana and drug paraphernalia.
I cannot for the life of me imagine how the daughter of a famous rock star would get the idea that using heroin or pot or whatever would be good for her.
Nope, can't imagine.
Can't imagine, especially an upstanding guy like Jon Bon Jovi.
Right, friendly to everyone.
Everybody loves Jon Bon Jovi.
Right, because he is just the friendliest guy ever.
Absolutely. I've heard nothing but great things. And when I met John, let me just not go there because that would be less than positive.
She was arrested on 3 misdemeanor counts: possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana, and criminally using drug paraphernalia.
Like what, a needle?
Bon Jovi, along with a 21-year-old Ian S. Grant, who was also arrested, are ordered to appear in court at a later date. Seems like a lot of hoopla over an alleged incident.
I know there's a lot of real things happening on something that allegedly happened.
Right.
There's a real court date, there's a real arrest, but it allegedly happened.
Right. In addition to violating state laws, the actions alleged to have been committed by the students violate Hamilton College policy.
Oh no, so she's allegedly getting kicked out of that alleged college as
right.
well?
Hamilton College says in a statement to WKTV, the college is cooperating with the police investigation.
Right. Wow. Allegedly.
They're cooperating.
Allegedly cooperating.
Right. Our first concern is always for the safety of our students.
Allegedly.
Out of respect for the privacy of our students and in accordance with the federal regulations, we do not discuss individual health or disciplinary matters.
Oh, well, that's good.
So can you get disciplined for something that allegedly took place?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they have more knowledge than they're sharing with us since all this is alleged.
Right. So, to draw more attention to it and the seriousness of this alleged problem.
Yeah.
You basically are assisting Jon Bon Jovi.
Yes.
And repenning some of the lyrics to some of their most popular tunes.
I am, because I felt like, he's got to be in just a tough mental situation right now.
Sure.
And while I know he wants to help, I got to think that he can't wrap his mind around it enough to actually put the lyrics together. And that's why I did this for him, so that he could just take these ideas and just use them.
Okay.
He has my full permission. I'll state it right now. He has my full permission to reuse any of these if he'd like to.
Okay. And what other selection should I play next?
I'm thinking Bad Heroin, because obviously I'm saying the heroin is bad.
Okay.
So let's go with Bad Heroin.
So this is all in the spirit of bringing awareness to people on the tragedy that drugs can bring to your life if you choose to imbibe.
Exactly, and specifically heroin, because it's just a horrible, horrible thing to do.
Sure.
Those drugs are like bad heroin. Sarah's heroin makes her OD. Oh, spike it up, it's just bad heroin. She needs a doctor just to help her to breathe. Bad heroin. It's what she wants. Bad heroin. Now she's just OD'd.
She needs a doctor just to help her breathe.
Just to help her to breathe, yeah.
Wow.
That was a great lyric,
Well,
wasn't it?
you got pretty creative with the tunes here.
She needs a doctor just to help her to breathe. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
I mean, why am I laughing? This is a serious
This
matter.
is a serious matter.
Sorry. I apologize for my laughter.
Sure.
I was only laughing at our interaction, not the problem.
Right. You don't want to be insensitive at all.
Because in the past, we've been accused of, not being sensitive enough. So in this case, I decided to be more sensitive.
All right.
And I think I've done a good job. Do you agree?
I think so. I think you're redeeming yourself from the devil-may-care, boozing bastard Chris-Akin of a week ago.
I tried.
And you're definitely earning your star and your crown in heaven.
I hope so, man, because Lord knows I want to get there. And Lord knows it looks like this Sarah or Stephanie or whatever her name is going to beat me there. But, I'd like to see her once I decide to get there as well.
Sure.
So, So then.
Ooh, I'm a junkie. In a bathroom I died. I wanted to go get high. And I walk these streets. I loving heroin and crack. I play for keeps. I might have a heart attack. I've done every drug. Yeah, I've done them all. I think I'm ready for Jesus, 'cause I've done them all. And I'm a junkie. In a bathroom I died. I wanted to go get high. Yeah, I'm a junkie. To everybody I have lied, but I wanted to go get high. Now I'm fried, fucking I died. Every night, I go get high. Ooh, yeah, I get high. Soon I will die. Ooh, yeah, I'll be high. Yes, I'll be high.
threads the needle, bitch.
Wow. Very impressive.
It's good, right?
You're going to go meet Jesus. You're going to go meet Jesus after you get high.
You like that line, huh?
On the bathroom floor, you died. Oh, I should say you fucking died.
Fucking died.
On the bathroom floor, you fucking died.
Come on, that was good, right?
Yeah, it was really good.
Don't you think that this is going to help?
I think that it's kind of in the vein of, I don't remember if you remember that either late 70s or early 80s TV series called Scared Straight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well that kind of in the same vein as Scared Straight.
Right. I would hope so. I'm definitely just trying to do my part to, raise awareness. I mean, drug addiction is a horrible, horrible thing.
Right.
And Lord knows I want to do my part to help. And clearly in a tragic situation like a spoiled rich kid overdosing, there's a message that can be made.
I agree.
And this is my attempt on behalf of the Classic Metal Show to reach out and share that message.
Sure.
So hopefully I've done a good job of it.
Well, according to Wicked Cassie in the chat room, we need Duff McKagan to do an intervention.
How ironic is it that you get a guy that's a notorious junkie to now say that he's clean and people just listen to him? Same with nikki-sixx.
Right?
Same exact thing. Oh, I did so much heroin that I died 3 times or whatever. Yeah, well, but now I write books about it and it makes people better.
Right, and I make $1 million off of it too. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
You got off with Daddy's money. You got off from Daddy's fame. Fuck it. You got busted with some heroin, but Daddy paid to clear your worthless name. I'm making it up as I go.
I can see that. You're right in the whole songwriting mode as Chris is.
I'm trying. I wrestled the phone away from Jeff, and I'm on a roll.
Nice. Good for you.
Let
Let those creative juices flow.
But seriously, the charges did get dropped against her. I wonder if Daddy might have greased a few palms.
Oh, you don't think?
Come on.
Yeah.
I think the police realize the error of their ways, obviously.
Yeah, John just strikes me as a real let the chips fall where they may kind of guy.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is.
Sure.
He used that money that he didn't pay Lon Friend to pay off those cops.
Yeah, and he, this surely won't damage his good name, and he won't care about that. His main concern is, getting his daughter clean.
I guarantee you that we will see PSAs from Bon Jovi for awareness, and there'll be some song on the new album that's already written and recorded and getting ready to come out that they'll say is like the Heroin fucking song. Guaranteed.
Yeah, you can hear it now. Hi, this is Jon Bon Jovi for RAD, recording an artist against drunk driving, or whatever.
Let Dorothea deal with it.
That's right.
He's just going to go right on to the View and all those chick chat shows and talk about how he was personally affected, and he'll get on the cover of People magazine, and he'll do some benefit concerts, which, it just happened to be televised.
We'll have blue ribbons on all the Super Bowl players this year, and he'll sing at halftime or something, or at the pregame, and the blue ribbons will represent heroin overdoses, because it's the color his daughter was when they found her on the floor, allegedly.
Yeah, of course, allegedly, because none of this really happened for absolutely fact, right?
Oh, exactly. We can't say for certain. I wasn't there.
It's media bias.
Right.
I wasn't there to see.
The media is just biased against rich rock stars who haven't had a bona fide good song since 1992. If then.
If then, exactly.
Fuck this guy.
That's what I say. All right.
Yeah, Richie's been a train wreck, but he at least still. Seriously, would you rather have a beer with John or Richie?
Richie.
Definitely. He might share some whores with you.
Yeah, John's a pompous ass.
Yeah, you saw the Playboy interview he did about maybe 8 or 10 years ago, where he said his kids have no idea what he does for a living.
Yeah, right.
And that if he ever heard about some school teacher or somebody at school talking about, making mention of what he does, he'd go and have a talk with him.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Sure he would. He's a badass, all right. He sucks, and I've met him, and he's a dick. Or he was a dick to me.
And I know at least a half a dozen people that have had run-ins with him, and every one of them tell the same story. This guy is a pompous ass.
Yep.
Yeah, not surprised. Well, let the soccer moms have him.
Exactly.
All right,
Let
Doghouse.
the former cheerleaders who now listen to pop country radio have him.
Right.
Because we got Testament.
Exactly. All right, Doghouse, hail and kill.
Fuck you, pal.
Doghouse learning about the hand job.
Right. Well, actually, one of my favorite bands that didn't, go anywhere after I think their third release, Hair of the Dog.
Yeah, sure.
Ryan Cook, the lead singer, I got to know him real well because I kind of jumped on the Hair of the Dog, bus early when they first came out. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Shot in the arm, straight through the vein, baby. You give smack a bad name.
I like it. I think we'll submit that to the Bon Jovi camp as well.
Sure. So I got to know Ryan Cook and the guys in Hair of the Dog pretty well.
Sure.
I was always supportive of them from the get-go when I first heard about them. And, they were, independently released. They were out there basically, getting on a couple of tours. This was when a lot of the 80s bands were starting to start back up.
Right, sure.
And try to get a little notoriety in the late 90s. And they jumped on the Rat tour, and then they jumped on the Cinderella tour, and they were on the Motorhead tour, and I would support their records and stuff. And every time they'd come through the Cleveland area, I'd always go out to the show and had them on the classic metal show and so on and so forth. But Ryan Cook told me probably one of the better stories. I know Lon Friend told a great story how he did all the stuff that Bon Jovi asked him to do, and what did they throw him, $1,000 or something like that
for like 18-hour of? It wasn't like an 18-hour television marathon.
Yeah, it was huge, and he was selling their was it a DVD or CD or something?
Yeah, it was a DVD that was like exclusive to QVC or some shit.
Yeah, and he did this whole telethon, and they threw him like $1,000 or something.
$1,000 when he was dead ass broke.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
John is a dick.
So anyway, Ryan got to open up for Bon Jovi at some event somewhere. I'm not really sure where it was, but maybe it was because Cinderella and Bon Jovi, they were friends.
Right.
That actually Bon Jovi, I guess, discovered Cinderella.
It was them and Skid Row.
Skid Row.
Right.
And I guess during that Cinderella tour, they got to open up for Bon Jovi for like one or two shows or something. And Ryan was the opening band. Hair of the Dog was opening for Cinderella and then Bon Jovi. And he was backstage, and he said that Jon Bon Jovi came walking down, the backstage area, and he went over to say hello to him and say, he was a fan and he was glad to meet him and stuff. And he said he just stood there and he just kind of looked me up and down and go, "Who are you again? And how did you get back here?"
Right. What a dick. Sounds about right.
Yeah, he said that was his retort. Rather than saying, "Hey, nice to meet you," and thanks, and whatever, he said he just kind of like looked at, "Who are you again? And how did you get back here?"
Thanks a lot, dickhead. Yeah, no, dude, when I met him, he was a total douche. And the other two that I met in the band, I met three of them. I met John, I met Richie, and I met the new bass player, John McDonald.
Yeah.
Those two guys could not have been nicer. Took pictures, were really nice, shook hands, signed shit. Very nice guys. I was, with a friend, and, taking pictures and shit. John was like, "You can take one picture." Gee, thanks, Rockstar. Appreciate it.
He's like Bret Michaels.
Yeah, and wouldn't sign nothing. Wasn't going to sign anything. And allowed my friend to take one picture with him.
Wow.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Right.
It's like, ugh, what a fucking knob. I hate that shit. It's like, and you know me, dude. I mean, you know how I am. I don't even like going backstage.
Right.
If it's up to me, I will leave before the show ends rather than stay an hour and a half to take a fucking picture.
Right.
I don't care. And, you know, I'm not starstruck, and I don't really want to meet Bon Jovi. You know, this was one of those where I had passes, and I had a friend that wanted to meet him, and it was what it was.
Sure.
So, you know, I went through all the rigmarole of that. And then for him to just be a dick, it's like, dude, you know, this guy right here pretty much has fucking bought, you know, probably one of your cars between concert tickets and fucking albums and DVDs and, you know, how about fucking smile, take a picture and say, hey, did that one come out clear? No? Well, then let's take another one.
Right.
How about not being a dick, you know? Remember that you get paid fucking more than most guys do in 3 years to do this show tonight, you know, and you worked for 2 hours. Work an extra 15 minutes and fucking please these fucking assholes that are in front of you that pay your bills.
Right.
Cocksucker.
Well, you know, I like I said, I've known at least a half a dozen people over the years who've met him, and every one of their stories is exactly the same. Not one of them has ever said, man, he was such a nice guy and just really friendly and signed this. And every one of them he was just a condescending, pompous douche.
He is, dude. I mean, I've only met him once. That was the one time. And, you know, he shook my hand. But, you know, ultimately, I was like, hey, how you doing? And, you know, because I don't give a fuck. And, you know, I took the picture from my friend, and you know what? I'm going to text him right now, see if he has that picture handy and send it. I'll put it on the CMS Facebook if he does. But it's like not even a good picture. It's a picture of just John just staring at a camera, not smiling, not happy. It's the why the fuck am I doing this look.
Right.
And it's like, yep, that's who you are. A cocksucking fuckface that is an absolute dickhead, in my opinion. So fuck that guy.
Right.
I hope his daughter does it again and again. What do you think of that?
Wow.
Yeah, you know, I hope that he does all kinds of PSAs and then she does it again.
Right.
What I hope. Asshole.
How do you really feel, Chris?
Stand him, dude. And that sucks because as much as everybody wants to beat up on Bon Jovi musically, I always liked Bon Jovi.
Sure.
I mean, I actually do, and I think Richie's a great guitar player. And to be perfectly fair, Richie's latest solo record that just came out like a month ago is fucking great.
Good.
As was Undiscovered Soul, and certainly as was Stranger in This Town, which is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Sure.
You know, total fan of Richie Sambora. Nice enough guy. I've met him twice. Both times he was fucking couldn't have been happier to meet anybody that was in front of him.
Right.
Just nice cat. Appreciates what he has. Nice enough guy. And like I said, I met that John McDonald dude too, and he was nice enough too. You know, it's like, why do you got to be such a fucking douche? And I mean, I get it. I get it. Everywhere you go, you got people fucking sticking a camera in your face or whatnot. But this is the arena that people are supposed to stick a fucking camera in your face. This is part of your job, is to shake a fucking couple hands. So do it, dickhead.
Right.
Don't be such a cunt about it.
Well, but I think, you know, aside from the personal treatment,
yeah,
is that the illusion he is able to create when he is on one of these talk shows that he's like America's sweetheart.
Yeah, exactly. He tries to,
and I think that's what is the most angering, is because the average public who sees this guy on a TV show, like Doghouse was saying about going on one of these, you know, the View or, you know, Oprah or when she was on, or, you know, whatever, and coming off like he's like the greatest, nicest, most accommodating person ever, but in reality, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, the reality is he's an asshole.
Yeah, it's the hypocrisy of it all.
And we've seen it the same with Bret Michaels too. Where Bret Michaels, when you put a camera in front of him, he's like, "Oh, I'm the happiest guy in the world, and I love my fans, and I appreciate them, and blah 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 blah." And then you see him in real life, and he's like, "Turn around when I walk past you."
Right.
It's like, go fuck yourself, you fucking cocksucker. You are an asshole with bad music that was never good, that got lucky as fuck in your career twice.
Right.
You know, he's worse than Vince Neil on the Luck Wagon because he has even less talent than that fucking hack.
That's one we have an axe to grind with, too, because I've witnessed some stuff with Vince Neil, too.
Yeah, Vince is a dick, too.
He is a major dick.
He's a entitled dick that has never, ever proven to have any talent.
Yeah, but somehow whenever he's on these shows, though,
oh yeah,
just Mr. Charisma, Mr. Nice Guy, just, you know, hey, it'd be cool to hang out with, you know, with
Vince Neil.
With Vince Neil, and it's like, no, it wouldn't.
No, just don't let him drive you anywhere, for God's sakes.
Right. And I know I've told this story on the show how, you know, he was, before he rejoined Crew, and he was the headlining act on that Rock Never Stops tour with Rat, and I think it was Rat and Tesla, and I can't remember. I think it might have been Firehouse, not sure, but it was one of those bands.
Right.
And, you know, I had a backstage laminate, and they had to clear out the entire backstage just so he could walk from the dressing room trailer to the stage. You know, they had to remove everybody. Yeah. You know, and then when he came off the stage, the same thing. They had to move everybody out of the backstage area so he could just walk from the stage to the trailer. And then there were those two girls, and I don't know if they still do it or not, but right. they would, every year they would do that Crew Fest.
Oh, I remember that.
Where they would raise that money for the Skylar Neal Foundation.
Right.
And they had all this, you know, memorabilia stuff that they needed signed, be it, you know, the dirt or, you know, some shirts and things that they were auctioning off to raise money for the Skylar Neal Foundation.
Right.
And he wouldn't even come out or let them come into the dressing room trailer to get that stuff signed. They had to hand it off to Jack Carson, his road manager, and he had to take it into him and get it signed and then bring it back out. And he didn't
get it signed.
Yeah, and he couldn't even come out and say thanks or thanks for all your work or, you know, whatever. You know, couldn't even do that. And these girls did this stuff like year after year.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
for his fucking dead kid.
Yeah, for his kid, the foundation that was named after his dead child, and he couldn't even come out and say thanks for doing this for all these years.
Yeah, he's a fucking dick. He really is. All right, so let's name them off. We've got Jon Bon Jovi, we've got Bret Michaels, we've got Vince Neil. Is there anybody else that really comes to mind immediately in that dick field?
Well, I understand. I haven't met him, but I've heard. Again, this is secondhand, but Gene Simmons is notoriously a dick.
I've met Gene. He was actually.
I've never met him, but every time I've heard is he's very condescending as well.
Well, he's entitled, but I mean, you definitely get an aura of, you know, he thinks he's better than everybody in the room. But he was fairly nice the couple times that I've met him. I mean, I've met him on a few meet and greet type things, and I met him once backstage when Deftones opened for him, and I was backstage and I met him, and he was very nice to be perfect.
Again, I don't have any personal experience because I never met the guy.
I mean, I was backstage with talking to Deftones, and he walked by, and you know, I was like, I said something like, you know, go get him tonight, Gene, and he just stopped. He's like, yeah, you gonna be out there? I was like, oh yeah. He's like, all right, cool. You know, he was nice. He was, you know, cool, excited. You know, not like, all right, I'm getting ready to play another fucking show. He was, you know, I mean, that was my total interaction. It wasn't like I spent an hour talking to him either. It was literally, you know, go get him, okay. You know?
Well, the one guy who was a major dick to me the first time I met him,
yeah,
but I changed my mind later. Yeah. Blackie Lawless.
Blackie can be difficult.
Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Hail and Kill. It's Rain City Metal.
All right, our Canadian guy to the north. What's going on, Rain City?
Well, I was going to say I met Gene Simmons last year at our Canadian version of the Super Bowl, which is called the Grey Cup, if you're aware of that small league that we have here.
Yeah, that high school.
And he was in one of the boxes, and I had a connection to go in there, and he was with Shannon Tweed and sitting in the box. So I think because I was brought into this special thing or whatever, I met him at this game, and he was actually really nice and let me take a picture and stuff, and I thought he was going to be a total dick, but he turned out to be nice. But that's one meeting. How do you judge, right?
Well, I mean, that's usually the meeting that makes or breaks it for you, so...
Yeah, it's not like you meet these guys 10 times in your life, right?
Sure.
So,
well, obviously the meetings Chris has had, and, you know, the one time you had your chance, he was nice to you, so... I can't speak from personal experience.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, have you read this Ace Frehley biography, the one with Dickhead from Talking Metal, who apparently edits it, or whatever he did?
Right? No, I haven't read it.
Chris did see it, though. He saw it at Atlantic City.
Yeah, but I haven't read it.
Okay, well, I recently read that, and I will say the one thing that Ace does in that book better than anything is he just, in a pretty cool way, makes Gene seem like such a douchebag, and he really outlines it in a cool way. Like he's like, I realize that Gene basically doesn't have any friends because he's just such a money-grubbing cocksucker. But you know what? The best part of that book, if you read it, and I was thinking of like sending them in. There are so many. Like, I mean, I know there's typos in a lot of books that you buy, but there are so many typos, spelling errors, mistakes all over the book by John Ostronomy. And apparently he was the head editor, writer, and oversaw everything in that book. And it's full of mistakes.
Wow.
Feel free to scan those and send them in. I would love to post that out there.
I was laughing. It was like, God, who edited this? Well, some goof who can't even, you know what he's like, but I thought the guy had some skills, but obviously not. He's what is he now? His hanger-on, whatever, but he's not an editor.
Wow.
But I'll send you those, Chris.
All right, send them to me, because I would like to make a YouTube video and get it out there and see if we can't get it viral out there that Ostronomy is a douche.
Okay, well, I'll do that. I'll get on it. I know I was going to highlight them as I was going through, but I'll go back through that.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's about it, man.
Excellent.
You got to check out some CFL football someday, Chris.
No, I like pro football. Thank you.
All right, boys.
All right, Rain City.
For the airtime, Hail and Kill, and hand job!
Hand job! All right, excellent. Full of spelling errors.
I must have that. And to be honest, I actually like the Canadian Football League. To be fair, it's actually a more fun league than the NFL. Sure, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, anyway, getting back to my first meeting of Blackie Lawless.
Okay.
Was at the Odeon.
Yeah.
For the KFD tour. I met him after the show, and he just acted like he was completely put out, to stop and sign a couple autographs and say hello and stuff.
Right.
But then the second time that I met him, I had a one-on-one interview with him, and I was locked in a room for an hour.
Right. And
after that, he was like the nicest guy ever.
Sure.
So the first impression I got of him, he acted like he was just like put out, and I can't believe this, and leave me alone, that kind of a thing. But maybe it was just a bad night. Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, dude, it's like that with a lot of these guys, dude. I mean, there's guys that I've met, that the first time you met them, they were dicks, and then they were dude. One of the guys that is a personal friend of mine is fucking Philip Anselmo, and Phil was an absolute dick the first time I met him.
Same way with Dave Mustaine. When I met him, he was just a complete dick.
Well, he's lived up to that continually. He's pretty much always a complete dick. But, dude, first time I met James Hetfield, he was a dick. And he kind of is a dick, too, really.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, but I mean, and you know this, I've met the Metallica guys several times. And, you know, Jason was always awesome. But, I mean, he was kind of my friend in the band. So Jason was always cool. But Lars was always pretty cool to me. You know, which is surprising because that guy gets beat to shit all the time. And hell, we beat him up sometimes for some of his shit. But nice enough guy that every time I've met him, Hammett's always real nice too. So, I mean, you can... I guess part of it is what mood they're in at the time. If they've been being rushed or, you know, if they didn't get enough sleep the night before or whatever. You know, like a regular person, let's be honest, you know. All of us. I mean, dude, there's days when we're cool and there's days when we're dicks. So, you know, it's just the way it is, I guess. But
sure.
When you're doing it, my whole point with Jon Bon Jovi, swinging this all the way back around, is when you're doing part of your gig and certainly meeting fans that have fucking paid extra money or whatever, or just did some favor for your band, so it's your requirement to meet them, be nice about it. Hey, thanks for writing that article, or thanks for buying the VIP membership or whatever. Don't be a dick who's put out by having to do your fucking job. Your job doesn't end when the encore does, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, I remember. I distinctly remember the 1999 Poison tour when you gave Poison the cover of your magazine.
Yeah, and then that fucking cocksucker didn't want to sign it.
Yeah, you walked up to Brett in the catering hall.
Yeah.
And said, hey, you know, I'm Chris from Music's Bottom Line. We did this interview. I gave you the cover this month, yada, yada, yada. And handed it to him and said, you know, I'd just like a signed copy of it. And he just refused to sign it.
Yeah, and you remember I started screaming at him.
Seriously.
That Big John guy came up, and I was like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I was going to fight that fucking guy.
Right.
You know, and remember, and then he did sign it, but he was just a total fucking dick about it. He's like, here's your magazine.
Well, that was the tour, you know, that and the subsequent tour was, if you were in the fan club thing,
yeah,
you know, you had to pay $25.
Right.
And you only get one autograph, and if you wanted more than one autograph, it would cost you $5 extra.
Right. What a dick.
It's $5 extra for an autograph.
Exactly. And then he was charging, and I'm pretty sure I think it was Billy that did it, or maybe Billy Pass. I don't remember, but I remember he was doing those meet and greets at clubs. Remember they did that?
Yeah. But the club had to pay money up front to have him there.
$10,000.
Yeah, $10,000
to have him come and sit and not play.
Right. You just come in there and hang out with Brett.
Yeah, he sits at a table. You get you get assembly lined through, and you get your autograph.
Mm-hmm.
$10,000.
Right.
Fuck him.
Remember when Dokken was on the tour with Sebastian Bach and Poison, what was it, 07?
07, 08.
Yeah, it was like 07. And he said that he would have these discussions with Brett, and Brett would go, you know, Don, you know, I sell these memberships to my fan club, and they're $25 a piece, and, you know, you really ought to think about marketing this because fans will pay, you know, X amount of dollars to do this meet and greet thing after, and it's $25 a head, and it's, you know, blah, 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 blah. And Don was just like, dude, you know, these people have bought my CDs and came out to see me for the last, you know, 25 or 30 years. I'm not charging anyone for an autograph.
Right. Hey, he's appreciative of his fans.
So I'm not going to do that.
And let's face it, there are definitely times that Don has been dicky. You know, there are. I mean, we get it. They all are. But at the same time, you know, and I mean, maybe we know it because we know Don pretty well, but, you know, he's never going to be fucking, as a rule, a dick. You know, I mean, certainly everybody has their bad moments, and certainly with all the tension between Don and George for all those years, you know, I mean, dude, I'm sure you've heard it a million times, all the fucking bad, you know, Don was a dick backstage after a show or whatever. And people forget this guy was in a band with another guy that he fucking hated. He spent 2 hours on stage, and then they came off stage and argued about the set.
Right.
Of course, by the time he got in front of the fans, he was fucking pissed off.
Right.
I mean, we've hung backstage how many times now with Don and John, that lineup, and there's never that after a show tension with fans.
Not at all.
We've seen it with band guys, but we've never seen it spill over. Because ultimately they all get along, so they're not in a shit mood after a show, and they come out and they're happy to see the fans that are still there to fucking appreciate them.
Sure.
And Jon Bon Jovi, Bret Michaels, fucking Vince Neil, they all get what they deserve.
Dave Mustaine.
I'm glad. And you know what? I ain't going to lie. I'm happy that these guys take beatings. I'm happy when I see Dave Mustaine continually getting his ass fucking handed to him for running his stupid mouth. Because he's a dickhead, and he deserves it. Period. He always, dude.
But still love his music, though.
Love his music. Will be the first in line for every one of them. But that's another one that won't go out of my way to help.
Right.
I mean, I'll do an interview with them if we're asked to do an interview, but it's not one of those that, we're going to go crazy over anymore.
Right.
He's Dave Mustaine. He is what he is. He comes in with an agenda and he spills it. And
right.
We'll roll the dice on that, but he's kind of a dick.
Right.
So.
All right, dude. Well, I need another adult beverage, and we'll wrap up the last hour of the show.
All right, do we have something to wrap it up with, or are we just going to wing it?
I think we got to wing it. Oh, we got this audio. What is this audio thing you sent over?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's I don't know if it's good enough to even play on the air. Maybe you want to play it. It's the video that they shot of me singing Nothing But a Good Time.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think the audio is good enough to actually use.
All right.
I just sent that over, but didn't we have audio that we held back?
Yeah, we got the guys from that stupid radio show that we played a couple of weeks ago where they're interviewing Jeff Pilson.
Yeah, we didn't get to Jeff Pilson.
We didn't get to that, so we could go to that.
Yeah, we'll go do that.
And they're really, talk about people who suck dick. You'll hear the slurping noises between every question they ask.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, let's finish the show with that tonight.
All right, we'll do that. So here's, since we're talking about Jon Bon Jovi,
yeah,
he's a social disease, man, exclusively here
on your classic metal show.